Yes, graduates, welcome to Hard Talk Podcast with HTK. Fasten your seatbelts. Hey, users and subscribers, welcome to another episode of Hard Talk with HTK. Yes, we have got an explosive update for you with regards to the Adriana Younge case. Subrayn has finally broken his silence with regards to his mom. But before we get into this, I think it's important that we identify exactly who it is that Subrayn has always pointed a finger of blame towards. Take a listen to this video.
And nobody is paying attention to this. Why nobody is paying attention to this what happening like this one place. Anytime, I say it again, right? Anytime the government allow anybody to build back any building, anything from that land here. Here the government wicked. They're wicked. And if Guyanese people allow them people to build back anything there, we wicked too. Because we supposed to never allow that to happen. As Guyanese people. Allow nobody to build back nothing there. You hear? That place must continue for remember every single body who are Guyanese, for the little ones that were growing up right now, and they didn't know, they're gonna know what happened there and know the history about this place, why it be like that. And nobody is paying attention to this. Why nobody is paying attention to this what happening like this one place. Anytime, I say it again, right? Anytime the government allow anybody to build back any building, anything from that land here. Here the government wicked. They're wicked. And if Guyanese people allow them people to build back anything there, we wicked too. Because we supposed to never allow that to happen. As Guyanese people. Allow nobody to build back nothing there. You hear? That place must continue for remember every single body who are Guyanese, for the little ones that were growing up right now, and they didn't know, they're gonna know what happened there and know the history about this place, why it be like that. And nobody is paying attention to this. Why nobody is paying attention to this what happening like this one place. Anytime, I say it again, right? Anytime the government allow anybody to build back any building, anything from that land here. Here the government wicked. They're wicked. And if Guyanese people allow them people to build back anything there, we wicked too. Because we supposed to never allow that to happen. As Guyanese people. Allow nobody to build back nothing there. You hear? That place must continue for remember every single body who are Guyanese, for the little ones that were growing up right now, and they didn't know, they're gonna know what happened there and know the history about this place, why it be like that.
So, as you can see, Subrayn has always been extremely vocal when it comes to the Doubleday Hotel owners and staff. He believes that the place needs to be condemned and never patronized again by the people of Guyana or any external visitors due to its history. And in case you have forgotten, there have been several lives lost at the Doubleday Hotel, one of which is this young man here, Sadiq. Now, in case you do not know Sadiq's story, I'm going to play a video for you that's going to break down exactly what took place with regards to Sadiq, and also the outcome of that case that was also one of absolutely no justice. Keep listening.
Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Now, before Adriana's Younge's death in April, the 23rd to the 25th, 2005, there was a young man before that, Sadiq Juman. Now, 13 years later, family grief surfaced. This time, I hope and pray that justice is served. Now, Sadiq was an only son for his mother. However, Sadiq went out with some friends to have a good time because his 21st birthday was coming up. Anyhow, he ended up at the Doubleday Hotel. But before all that, he told his mother where he was and where he was going. So he ended up at a Doubleday hotel. Now, Sadiq's mother said that she wondered, she was calling her son's phone, it's time to come home, because he said he was coming home at 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock passed, she calling, and she called again, it gone to voicemail, then it's turned off. She was calling and calling, didn't get any response from her son's phone. Anyway, the next morning, her daughter had a call to say that Sadiq was found dead at a Doubleday International Hotel at the pool. So she said they left in a hurry to go to the pool, but before they can meet the pool, they had another call to say that he was taken to the Lenora Health Center. So when she got there, she said her son was beaten, severely beaten, and they told her that he drowned. But she knew that her son was not drowned because his body was fresh in the water. Although he did not bore burn marks like Adriana, his head was swollen, his face and his hands were swollen. So that means that they severely beat him. The owner of the hotel and another friend of his was held for murder. 1 year later, after the prosecution could not have given enough evidence, the case was thrown out, and that was it with her son. And now 13 years later, the same thing has happened to Adriana Younge. So she was reliving the grief 13 years back with what happened to her son. Now she's saying that she's hoping that they can have justice, Adriana family can have some justice, because she did not get any for her son, and it's her only son. She also stated that she have made calls and she have made reports to the station to ask the relevant authorities to close down this hotel, and it all went unanswered. So now this is the second one. She said even though she don't believe in human sacrifice, she knows for sure that her son was sacrificed and murdered at the Doubleday Hotel 13 years back. So you see, before Adriana Younge, there was another kid that was just 20 years of age, now approaching 21, that he lived his life there, and he was buried on the 21st birthday, on his 21st birthday. So my condolences goes out to both individuals, but I think people need to hear Sadiq Juman's case. You guys have a blessed afternoon.
Increasingly, we have been hearing so much about the spiritual aspect of Adriana's death. Many believe that this was a ritual, that a sacrifice took place. But what if it was simply a case of a serious homicide that is targeting young and vulnerable children? There are very sick people amongst us in our society, and sometimes it's about carrying out these actions and hoping never to be detected. Now, the voice of this witness has been lost in the noise. From as far back as April, this witness came forward and said what she saw that took place with Adriana. Nobody has taken this witness seriously. However, it's important to note that for fear of her own life and the life of her family, this witness has refused to come forward to authorities. But let's listen to what she said.
Anyway, I was at the hotel since Monday with a friend who invited me there, right? On the same day when they all came to swim at the pool, I was also in the pool at swimming. So I saw them earlier in the afternoon. And in the afternoon, I saw when the grandparents came in asking for them to take care of her. No, they were saying that they didn't know what these things anyway.
Did you all talk out?
the night everybody came out and they was crowded outside. So I was telling the guy that, we need to move from here, and because this ain't look so nice. Anyway, the night, like, or later on in the night, I came outside to get some fresh air. And I see a guy who was, walking up and down, like, I didn't think nothing really. Anyway, I heard a scuffle, like, two room away from my room. So that was my room. So that was room 135. Right? But normally, you just hear things in hotel, but you just say, like, this part is perfect. So I hear this coughing all the time, like, and I hear a scream. So I was asking the same person that with me, you hear the person screaming at home? He said, no. Right? Anyway, I didn't sleep the whole night because after the coffee outside, I didn't sleep the whole night. Anyway, I looked through the window because where we were on the front of the party. You could see everything. Right? And I saw this young man was dragging this child. Right? I called my family to come and see. They was dragging the child by her foot to the other room. Right? And there was this Indian guy, I didn't see him from the face, I did from behind. And they pour on the child and take her into the other room. Anyway, my friend took out his phone and he started video. Right? But we didn't get to video the whole thing. Anyway, they put her in the other room. So while the people was arguing outside, they had the child in the other room. Which indeed, as the other lady said, there was a bin because indeed there was a bin there that the taker was a yellow bin that they take and they put her in, right? And the same morning early, but everybody was about to do the whole thing. I feel they put the child in the pool, but I didn't see when they put the child in the pool, but I saw everything was upstairs. Right? And I'm scared, I don't know. I'm very scared to reach out to those people and to reach out to the police because I'm scared for my life and my family life. And I don't need anybody to come to me and my family.
So did you listen keenly? She clearly said that she overheard a scream, and both her and the person she was with witnessed Adriana being dragged by the feet down the corridor, that she was dragged into another room. She also said that her partner started to video but never captured everything. So there is a video circulating, or at least in the possession of someone, that partially captures this scene. There have been many crucial conversations that took place around this case that many have forgotten, and we are going to keep them canonized so that when justice is served, everything can be quickly pinpointed. I'd like you to listen to this conversation that was had on Fattah's Live by a police officer who was present on the scene. Listen carefully.
The child's aunt. We had 4 CID officers and Hubbard, a uniformed officer, along with the owner. Now, I have a video in my phone, but I'm currently on it. I don't know where this guy came from in a red t-shirt. He wasn't with us all the time, Remember, the police bar off the entrance to this hotel. I was allowed access to go in. I don't know where this guy came from, if he was already in the building or what, perhaps. Now, after the owner made a disappearance, we looking in the old part of the hotel for him. And Officer Harris and I ventured to a door behind the receptionist. behind the receptionist. And there was son and this guy coming from the back there. So I thought, I said, man, who's this? Where he come from? He said, oh, that's my brother-in-law. That's my brother-in-law. And after they had a little talking, Officer Harris said, well, why you got to come down to the station with us? Here where he can turn and tell the officer. Because the people that were going on bad on the outside. They were going on crazy on the outside. And I guess he was frightened. He was frightened. He turned and he asked the officer, he said, officer, yeah, I can't pick him up from around the back, man. Pick him up from around the back. Officer Harris said, no. We walking through the same front door here. They can't do you nothing. He wanted to be escorted from the back of the building. So when he got arrested at 1:37 a.m., then is when he left the premises. But before, when this search was being conducted, you see that same picture behind you there, Fato? Shift yourself. Good. In the middle there is the bar, which is right in front of the pool. On the left side is the male washroom. On the right side is the female washroom. Normally, you've got to take showers before you enter the pool. Next to that female washroom, where that second arrow is a little bit more, there is a gate. An iron gate. I opened that gate. I pushed my hand from the opposite side to open that gate. That gate leads you to the back where, well, this place is a hotel and rental, like party rental stuff, table chair, tents and stuff like that. These stuff are stored behind there. These stuff are stored behind there. So I opened that gate and everyone ventured in. This is before he went missing. Now, everybody searching. Everybody looking. Everybody bust up, looking in black tanks. Everywhere possible. But one place that we did not go to was a room filled with 5-gallon pails of chlorine. Well, that's what they throw in the pool. So they got it stuck on pile there. Now, there was an Indian guy. I got the video. I'm going to send it to your WhatsApp in a few, Fato. There was an Indian guy. He turned and he told Amicia, the mother of the child, because she was going to the room, he turned and he tell she, auntie, I better store chlorine in there. If you're going in there, don't breathe too hard. Now, that discouraged her from going in there because the pails were already exposed. When you get near enough, your eyes burning, your head feeling light. So we did not venture further. Now, this whole place is like a little maze. How this man got this place set up. It's like a little maze. So everybody went back to the lobby except him. Where we looking for him? Looking. Can't find him. This is for more than 20 minutes. More than 20 minutes. When Officer Harris and I went back to go through that door, he and the brother-in-law coming from there, he then turned and said, oh, he went to take a shit. Mind you, there is no washroom with extreme back there. Even a staff there, that is my friend, she was supposed to be turning out to duty for 11 o'clock to relieve the receptionist that was there. The receptionist that was there the night, that was that girl's first day at work. Was her first day at work. So her relief didn't come. So I turned and asked my friend, I said, man, yeah, it's got a washroom at the back there. The girl said, no, there's no washroom at the back there. So
I want
went to take this shit.
to come in my inbox when you're done. Come in my inbox. I don't want to
Right
talk
when
with
he
you.
turned and said he went and take a shit.
Wait there, Michaela.
Aye, baby.
When you're done, I'm going to exit live. And I want you to see something on my phone.
I will. This here, you see, let me this same door that I opened, right? This door leads to that chlorine room. This same door this child was brought through. Because here what happened. They have vehicles that they would normally deliver their rental stuff in to the venues and stuff, like these cantors. They created a distraction on one end of this building with a canter. We said no vehicle and left in here.
Mister can't say nothing to you. It's confidential. Can't got nothing for me. Only the family.
You understand? We say no vehicle in leaving here unless we search it, and the mob just stayed intact and this vehicle is moving. And back and forth, back and forth. We have persons live showing this too. We have person live showing this. So
What is it?
that
What is your room?
the chair room. I'm not
She
really
was in
commenting
this.
right now.
The person said she was in the chair room.
I'm not chair room.
Where come in boxing and show him?
Anyway, so they created a distraction to draw the crowd to one side, which is the opposite side of
I'll
that
come in,
room.
don't move. Come back in.
They show, and the part where he mentioned about his cameras are not functioning, he took us to all of his two camera rooms. Two. One in the old side of the building and another one at the extreme top of the building in the new one. Nothing was on, nothing was functioning, but the officers took possession of the DVRs. Because he said, about a week now, he got some men coming in and doing some upgrade. Now, a big business place like this, let me tell you something. When that place is make a lot of money, because a lot of persons is come and rent a new part. I rented there for a friend last December. $25,000 for a night there. $20,000 for the room, $3,000 for breakfast in the morning, and $2,000 for the key you just get whenever you return. You understand? A big business place like that, and your cameras are not functioning.
Mama,
Aye.
give me 2 seconds. I'm going in your inbox to do something for me.
Okay.
You could continue, but I'm going to slip out to something, and I'm going to
Okay,
come
I'm
back
not
and
gonna.
come back and screenshot.
Yes, he claimed that the guys that the cameras are he's doing an upgrade, so the cameras are not functioning.
Please.
No, something I think is working. It's true.
So why the cameras in the kitchen only not working? Why is the cameras only in the kitchen?
There were no cameras working, according to what he said. None.
But I was there last year. I went to that washroom, the male washroom, and it was creepy. It was creepy. I
We also must not forget the behavior of the cousin Stefan in all of this case. Stefan did come out and he did create this video.
Imagine, right? Just imagine. The people's them that were a good heart and good mind, like we, right, just end up get hurt in life. But you see now, right? You see when table torn. Right? You see when table torn on some of y'all out there. Y'all is vexed with we. You understand? Y'all is vexed with we. Because the first thing y'all gonna say, by how you torn so, how she torn so, and these things and so, right? Yo, let me show y'all some, right? This life here, so, no matter how you live good with people, no matter how you live bad with people, people always got one thing for what you're different in this life here. They don't want to see you get up. They don't want to see you better in this life here. Want to see you making more than them, they try to bring it down in this life here. So don't feel like you're coming around with funny and you're talking this and you're talking enough, just get that way. Yo, roll. You gotta roll if you gotta roll. Straight. Imagine, right? Just imagine. The people's them that were a good heart and good mind, like we, right, just end up get hurt in life. But you see now, right? You see when table torn.
Right? This you take what torn on some of y'all out there. Y'all just vex with we. You understand? Y'all just vex with we. Because the first thing y'all gonna say, by how you torn so, how she torn so, and these things and so, right? Yo, let me show y'all some, right? This life here, so, no matter how you live good with people, no matter how you live bad with people, people always got one thing for what you're different in this life here. They don't want to see you get up. They don't want to see you better in this life here. Want to see you making more than them, and try to bring it down in this life here. So don't feel like you're coming around with funny and you're talking this and you're talking enough. Just get that way. Yo, roll. You gotta roll if you gotta roll. Straight. You always got one thing for what you're different in this life here. They don't want to see you get up. They don't want to see you better in this life here. Want to see you making more than them, and try to bring it down in this life here. So don't feel like you're coming around with funny and you're talking this and you're talking enough. Just get that way. Yo, roll. You gotta roll if you gotta roll. Straight. Imagine, right? Just imagine. The people's them that were a good heart and good mind, like we, right? Just end up.
He's throwing shade at people who are basically targeting him because his income is higher. He's boiled it down to jealousy and bad mind. But Stefan's behavior towards those who are investigating the case has shown that he is more interested in them being silenced than justice being served. Haley Comet has spoken quite loudly about her interaction with Stefan when initially she was willing to converse with him about what took place during the search and leading up to the discovery of Adriana's body. Take a listen to how Stefan reacted.
She would never leave on her own. You need to know. Never as a mother or anyone talking about an 11-year-old child, even when I'm covering cases of missing 11-year-olds, would I ever say, perhaps she's gone off with an adult boyfriend. It would never occur to me that that's where an 11-year-old had gone. It's not a boyfriend, it'd be her rapist or abuser. Like, why are we talking like that? And you're his family, you're her family. That's what I mean. It was always like you were trying to lessen what was happening, and people said to him, why won't you get out of the car and go so we can see around the hotel? And he said, because I don't want to get arrested. Why would you get arrested? You're a family member. I literally, I can't leave the words on this. He and I had a lot of times. When I called him out and said, you're starting to look a little bit suspicious to me, Stefan, nothing's adding up, even when you're saying you left the hotel at the same time, exact same time Adriana went missing. My brother? What do you mean your brother? I don't know your brother. Even when he went missing exactly the same time Adriana left the hotel, he said, I went to a different location. I'm like, what location? What do you mean a different location? Why would you not tell exactly what location you'd gone to? Like, why didn't you explain it? And what became very clear to me when it comes to family statements, when we listen to Amika Lewis's statement, that is a real statement. She explained her whole day, before and after, and she even told us little bits of details that didn't matter. She said, I was doing a teaching class that day, I had a funny feeling in my head. I asked them if we could do it half an hour later. Then I did my, I'll have a look in a minute. Then I did my kind of class a bit later. Then I started to feel sick. I took some medication. I went to lay down. She was explaining her whole day because as a family member, she wanted to tell us exactly where she was, but she was also dreading getting to the bit where Adriana was now missing. So she kind of started just fluffing out some details. That's a real statement of what was happening for you the day that you found out Adriana was missing. She went back way before Adriana was missing because she was trying to say, like, I felt funny that day. I felt like something was going to happen. And she really told us about it. And that's how we could tell it was real. With Stefan, it's kind of, I think that cafe, I think several members of the family, because the mum had a bit of a funny feeling at work as well. They all had a feeling of impending doom. And they all kind of felt something in their water, that something was going to happen. Nigel Anakim is not streaking. He is not a fluffer. He's going to be streaming, just to fix that one. Exactly, storytelling. And the kind of the pauses. You want to tell us kind of you weren't exactly at the hotel when you were missing, but you want to tell us you were at a location. Like, you're not telling us where you are. You're hiding information. You're withholding information. Hence, you're a liar. And the moment I called Stefan out, he came into my life and threatened me. He threatened me physically. He's come in several times and said things to allude to if I ever come to Guyana, my life will be over. And I'm like, surely you want me to look into your cousin's disappearance, but now you're getting nasty very quickly. Yeah, I made videos and showed the screenshots where he's coming here and said, like, I'm lucky I'm not in Guyana. He can't wait for me to come to Guyana. On all of those things, he's threatened me several times. He's made it very clear. Neville, they all speak really good English. I don't want to make excuses for a man who's actually... there's so many more things I know in Stefan's history that I just can't bring to light right now because of who I've been told them by. This guy's not a sound guy. And I called him out before. I said, I've seen you on posts constantly commenting on young girls. You know, have you got a boyfriend before you ask how old they are when they look 15 or 16? Like you're a pervert. I've called him that to his face. I've said to him, you had an unhealthy interest in young girls. I don't know many men in their mid-20s who would come straight onto a post of a young girl and be like, are you single? Before checking if she was of age. Because men have to live in a society now where young girls wear makeup, we look older, we're going through more, puberty's quicker. Like, why would you do that? He's also said on one post, he said, are you single? And she said, I'm your cousin. And he said, are you single? And I'm like, what? Like, he also used to work at the hotel. He knew the hotel owner. When the children went missing, when Adriana went missing, the hotel owner, instead of coming outside to see what was going on, who, by the way, was stood by the pool watching Adriana just before she went missing, he started phoning Stefan. Like, and Stefan's like, yeah, he phoned me, he just wanted to know what was going on and stuff. Like, Stefan, why aren't you saying to him, you prick, why won't you let my family search the hotel? My niece has gone, my cousin's gone missing, I need to come in and search. But you just stood back the whole time. You're always with the police. You're never with your family. So Brian's laying on the floor passing out and Misia's screaming, where the fuck are you? Like, and he literally, he's so suspicious. And the grandmother 100% took Adriana to that hotel for a certain reason that had been set up by Stefan. I don't care what anyone says. And people go, well, you shouldn't say that. And why? I'm working for Adriana and her justice. I don't give a fuck about theirs. But I'm going to be really honest. Thank you, Jenny. Like, I kept it inside until I gathered up enough of a case to make a suspicion, and I spoke to other family members if they had the same feelings before I ever brought it to social media. And since then, it's been confirmed by lots of different people saying the same thing I've said. They've echoed my sentiment. You have to always look at these cases that 54, 56% of victims are family members with their killer or the person that takes them to their death. 28% of them are victims' family friends. There's only 5% of abductions happen with strangers.
Now, does a good person threaten to physically harm someone? I don't think so. It's clear that Stefan has a very dark side, and it came out in his discussions with Haley Comets. Now, let us get to the live that took place today, where for the first time ever, Adriana's father, Subrayn, spoke up in defense of his mother. I'm not gonna lie, people, I was taken aback by his reaction, but in a way, on quiet reflection, it's kind of understandable because, listen, this is his mother after all, and it must be a very difficult and tricky place to maneuver when the world is pointing a finger at the woman who gave birth to you. And the child that was lost was in her care. It cannot be an easy and simple thing. And likewise, many of the assumptions and the voices out here have been of everyone else and not Subrayn himself. I remember when I did a video and I spoke about the fact that Subrayn is grieving differently because he's a man. And at the moment he's quiet, and currently the only voices we hear are those of Adriana's mother's side more than anything else, but also of Angie, who claims she is his cousin. We are not hearing from Subrayn himself, and as such, I wondered and questioned, why doesn't Subrayn come forward and speak out on behalf of his own mother? Well, the day has finally come. Let's hear what Subrayn has to say.
People get us out of their mind.
I want to get a screen recorder and y'all get it out.
Whatever happened, I never go around the place pointing fingers to no one. Right? So I want people out there to get it very clear and loud. So I have nothing against my mom, right? So this is all I want people to know. Twist it, turn it, whatever people want to look at it, is my mom. You understand what I'm saying? I can't change it, it's my mom. And I can't go wrong place hating her, right? So I tell my mom from my heart, I have nothing against her, right? So personally, so the people out there, stop being negative, right? Come on, stop being negative. Yeah. People get this out of their mind.
I want
Whatever
to get a
happened,
screen recorder and y'all get it out.
whatever happened, I never go around the place pointing fingers to no one, right? So I want people out there to get it very clear and loud. So I have nothing against my mom, right? So this is all I want people to know. Twist it, turn it, whatever people want to look at it, is my mom. You understand what I'm saying? I can't change it, it's my mom. And I can't go wrong place hating her, right? So I tell my mom from my heart, I have nothing against her, right? So personally, so the people out there, stop being negative, right? Come on, stop being negative. Yeah. People get this out of their mind.
I want
Whatever
to get a
happened,
screen recorder and y'all get it out.
whatever happened, I never go around the place pointing fingers to no one, right? So I want people out there to get it very clear and loud. So I have nothing against my mom, right? So
now you have heard it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Subrayn is making it clear that he can never hate his mother and that he has no hard feelings towards his mother at all. He's asking for the public to come off of his mother's back. He's asking for people to stop the negativity. But I am going to challenge you, Subrayn. It's going to take more than you just adhering to the love that you have for your mother in order for people to accept her as being an innocent party. As you can see, the very people whom are surrounding you as family are speaking out quite vehemently, stating that the grandmother is a part of whom to be blamed. So, you have now clearly revealed to the public that there is an infight happening between yourself and Adriana's mother's relatives and Angie. Because all of them have pointed a finger, not the public. They have pointed a finger in the clear direction of your mother and has resulted in the public condemning them and their role in your daughter's death. It's not so straightforward to simply say she's the mother that grew you and the mother that you love. Because those feelings are natural feelings. Even people who are in abusive relationships turn around and love their abusers. Does it make it right? So, we have to take our emotions away from this circumstance and look at the hardcore facts. Either way you take it, Subrayn, your mother was responsible for the guardianship of this child during her time at the Doubleday Hotel. And it is under her supervision that this child lost her life. Be it deliberately or accidentally, there has to be an accountability of this fact. So while I can empathize with how conflicting this may feel for you, I think in this case, the public demands answers. You would have to counteract all of the statements that have been put out here into the ears and the minds of the masses by your very own family. And you would have to provide the evidence to show that your mother never met with this lady in the grey before and that this lady in the grey has nothing to do with Adriana's passing, that your mother has not suddenly received an increase in wealth that has facilitated a great change in her lifestyle, as a result of some kind of dealings that's off the books. There are things that will need to be mulled over and openly disclosed in order for you to gain traction with this new perspective that your mother must be left alone and not considered a suspect. Now, people, it is not impossible that things are happening behind the scenes with Dexter Todd. In order to break down all of the key details and put things in order so that the chronological history of each of the key witnesses and people who are present falls into place. And perhaps revelations are being made that is making things a lot clearer and a lot more logical in the eyes of Subrayn and Amicia. Remember what Dexter Todd said was going to take place, because remember, up to now, we thought that the case was closed until Dexter Todd came out and made it clear that it was not. Here is a reminder of what Dexter Todd said.
Even though the Guyana Police Force has somehow considered the Adriana Younge investigation closed, Attorney-at-Law Dr. Dexter Todd, who is representing the family of Adriana Younge, told reporters on the sidelines of the child's funeral that that's not the case.
The investigation continues. There have been a number of persons who have indicated that they have not given statements to the police. We are currently making arrangements for those statements to be taken and submitted to the police.
Todd said the circumstances surrounding the death of the child must be pursued from every angle.
By no long shot, this investigation is closed. I believe that in every angle, we have to pursue it, and we have to pursue it tactfully, and of course ensure that justice at the end of the day is done.
The police have indicated to the family that the first autopsy report will not be handed over to the family. According to Todd, legal proceedings will be filed in this regard.
I am not aware of any procedure at the Guyana Police Force. There is no standing order. There is no law. There is no regulation recognized by law to allow the police to do that. So what the Commissioner of Police is referring to, if that is a policy, that policy has to be backed up by law. And it's not backed up by law. And we will challenge that.
So as you can see, he intends to investigate and interview all of the key personnel that was present on the day in order to get a full picture of what took place when Adriana went missing and when her body was found. So, as I said, Subrayn may be having access to further details that has set things right in his mind with regards to his mother. And until the public receives that full information, or at least information of relevance, it is hardly going to make a difference, because right now people are still clamoring for justice for Adriana, and everyone remains a suspect. Now, someone came up on one of my posts, my video, and in the comment they made it clear that I should speak about the 14-year-old that was killed in St. Thomas by a mentally unstable man. I need to clarify to you the purpose of my platform. And I said I was going to speak about this, but not necessarily in the way that you would like to hear. Because I know that that was your cheeky way of telling me to focus on Jamaica's problems. Let me tell you this. I have put in enough and adequate work and will continue to put in the work when it comes to cases where there is no justice. So just to set that in your brain a little bit, if it can facilitate it. My platform deals with cases where there is no justice. I'm saying that slow and hard and heavy, so it sinks in the mind, especially of those who are difficult at grasping concepts and information. So if a case has already been solved, i.e., the murderer has already either been incarcerated or put to death, which in the case of the 14-year-old in St. Thomas, the mentally unstable man was killed, then there is nothing for HTK to speak about. The only thing I can address is the fact that our country needs to do better with regards to the mentally unstable and having them meandering in the streets of the public and having access to civilians of sound mind. They need to be appropriately locked away once assessed and found to be mentally imbalanced. That is the only thing, but that's not my role. So if you are looking for a platform that deals with fixing Jamaica's systems, I can recommend one for you. Head over to producer Wayne Global, my brother. He always deals with repairing Jamaica's systems. And if you want a bit more bangarang, you can head over to Andre. But in the meantime, HGK deals with cases where there is no justice, especially around children. So in case you are not aware of what the modus operandi is of this channel, now it should be as clear as day and as transparent as water. Okay? Big up your nice clean self. For those of you who are new to my channel, do not forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, check that bell so every time I drop a video, you get notified. This is your girl, Head Teacher K, and I'm out.